One of the reasons that drug dealers and sex traffickers are coming to America is because they can know they'll stay here, right? In Franklin County, Texas, late last week, state troopers stopped a Sequoia with 18 people inside. At first, they thought it was drugs. They realized it was so heavy, they opened it up. It wasn't drugs, it was people inside. 3 were actually cartel members, coyotes, bringing 12 men and 3 women, were told, to Baltimore, Maryland. The illegals admitted to sheriff's deputies that they were headed to Baltimore to, quote, work off their passage to America. One even admitted to robbing banks in Peru and being wanted for other crimes in Guatemala. And what does the Department of Homeland Security do? What's their response when sheriff's deputies wanted to turn them over to the feds? How about let them go, even after they just admitted they'll be working for the cartels? Well, we would never have heard about this story if it wasn't for Republican Congressman from Texas, Pat Fallon, tipping us off to it. Franklin County is in his district, and he wrote this letter to Department of Homeland Secretary Mayorkas, spelling out the case and pleading with the Department of Homeland Security. I urge you to immediately revise the policies of catch and release that are threatening our communities. I want to welcome to the program Congressman Pat Fallon. Congressman, great to have you on the show.
Grant, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you tipping us off to this story. I think it's very important. It typifies what's going on. And first off, I guess, what do you know about the women? I'm actually concerned for their safety, the 3 that were in that SUV.
Well, absolutely. You know, Grant, thanks to Joe Biden, the United States government is facilitating the largest human trafficking operation in the world. And it's disgusting. And the Democrats want to force, Americans to look the other way, and we have to shed light on this. So what happened was, as you described, 18 people in a Sequoia, and the 2 coyotes, and then the immigrants admitted that they're going to, quote unquote, work this off. They were told by the cartels to say they had relatives in Baltimore, and they're going to go there. And the 3 women were offered sanctuary at a local church that helps women that have been sexually trafficked. And they were so afraid. The sheriff's deputies, Sheriff Ricky Jones did a great job. And the girls, they wouldn't leave, that they wouldn't go to Dallas because they're fearful that their relatives back home are going to be harmed, possibly murdered. And they said that they were going to be roofers. They're going to go work this passage off in Baltimore roofing. And I think that, there's another fate that awaits them, a very dark fate. And how in the world can Joe Biden, in good conscience, sleep at night knowing that hundreds of thousands of human beings are being trafficked, and we're helping the most evil people on the planet, the cartels, who incidentally control our southern border? And we are facilitating this, and we're party to it. It's disgusting, and it has to end.
You know, Pat, this is one SUV found in Franklin County, Texas. I'm sure there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of these SUVs coming across America. This is on Joe Biden's shoulders. What really concerns me is that some of them are criminals, and the feds say let them go. Our families are at risk when you're letting people like that go.
Well, that's just it. And you're right. It's happening all over the country. The fact that Kamala Harris is claiming that, well, this is a complex problem, and if it was easy, it would be solved years ago. President Trump took a flood and he reduced it to a trickle. And the illegal border crossings have increased under the Biden administration by 300% and climbing. And the cartels do this for 2 reasons. One, they love to distract Customs and Border agents because about half of them right now are literally babysitting thousands of unaccompanied minors, and they're literally changing diapers as well. So it's easier for the cartels to smuggle in their drugs. But secondly, they make a lot of money from the Guatemalans, Hondurans, and El Salvadorians who are so poor they can't afford the passage, so they, quote unquote, work it off. And that's going to be largely due to, they're going to be doing that with illegal activity. And the cartels love sexual trafficking because those folks can continue to earn. Once somebody snorts a line of cocaine, it's over. But a woman in the sex traffic industry can continue to earn money for the cartels. And we need to fight them and not sit there and look the other way and be complacent.
Real quick, what can you do about getting the Biden administration, if anything, to at least keep people in custody that admit to robbing banks in Peru and Guatemala, which is what one of these gentlemen, call him a gentleman, which is one of these criminals admitted to?
No, it's a scumbag. That's who they are. Let's call a spade a spade. He's an absolute scumbag. And They're the most evil people on the planet. We need to put pressure on the Biden administration. The only way to do it is folks like yourself and the other people in the media that are actually committed to the truth. Because what the Biden administration is doing, if migrants get caught on the border, they're flying them to any city that they're told that they quote unquote have relatives. And that's what the cartels are doing, is they're saying, oh, you, Grant, you'd say that you're from Philadelphia or you have relatives up there, and we're going to fly you. And if we don't put the pressure on, because what's going to end up happening, the situation down there, the Biden border crisis is so bad that they're going to probably end up having to reinstitute at least some of Trump's policies. They'll call it something different.
They have to.
Like the media called them cages, and now they're holding facilities, that kind of thing. But the bottom line is we have to do something,
right,
or it's absolute chaos.
Well, look, I appreciate you bringing these stories to our attention because, you know, once we get them out there, I think the outrage is starting to build even from those on the left. And so we appreciate the work you're doing, Pat Fallon. Thank you, as always, for coming on the program.
Grant Shinfield, you're a great American. God bless.